So one plyometric drill that I like to use is a kneeling jump to handstand, and it teaches not only jumping, timing, and power, but it also helps to coordinate landing. And because you have less time in the air, a lot of people don't have the best landing habits as far as how they place their feet and how they place their hips. So this also works to expose that. So really nice exercise for coordination, for explosiveness, and a couple other challenges. So we start in the kneeling position, and don't think like the size of squat because we're trying to coordinate it like we would for a jump. So we don't start the jump in the squat position, we start the jump standing. We go back and then we come up. Very important here as well is the feet are tucked underneath. I don't want the feet like this because then there's, what do you call it? People want to stand up, and the idea is to be in the air to use the hips to jump. So the motion is going to be arms and hips, like this. I'm going to go up in the air, and in that short time that I have in the air, I lift my knees up, I get my feet under me, and it's going to look something like this. So, very simple. What I want to happen here is that my feet should replace my knees, essentially. So I don't want to travel, it should go straight up. This is where my weight is, and that's where my weight stays. Like this. And then what I'm looking for, I'll do it facing the camera, is basic squat mechanics. So feet are facing forward, a little bit turned out is okay. Knees are in line with the feet. And chest is upright, more or less. A little bit chest down is okay, but if it's too far down, it's gonna be a detriment. So, one more time. Now what you'll see is that people who turn their feet out will sometimes have this valgus knee force, the knees collapse. Maybe over long term, it's not an issue, but maybe it will be. So if you're jumping and landing repeatedly, it's better to have the knees and the feet going in the same line. Sometimes that's from the hips, sometimes it comes from the arch of the foot collapsing inward, and then that causes the knees to follow and go in. So that's why I like this drill, is that if you do something like that, it exposes the habit, and then you can start to work on doing something about it. Another variation is to really explode from the hips, so that essentially you land completely standing up. So like this. A bit more aggressive, kind of cooler looking, I think. It's a good one, again, to really use the power from the hips to explode into the jump. And of course, I'm using the arms as well. I am swinging them at the same time as the hips. So one more time, it's gonna look something like this. And I stand up. Another option is to jump low and see if we can catch that in a squat. So this is maybe more like an Olympic lifting drill. So I go from here, and then I see how deep of a squat can I catch it in. And of course, if I am an Olympic lifter, I can maybe take away my arms, something like this. So that's gonna make chest more upright, or force it to be more upright. And again, it's, can you catch it in good squat mechanics? Obviously, it's different when you're cleaning or snatching a bar, but it is another way to play with this movement. So no arms, only hips. I bend down, and I see what kind of position I can catch it in. And of course, if you really wanted to have more carryover to Olympic lifting, not that I'm really doing any right now, but you can grab a dowel, very simple, and now you can work your catch and your snatch. Not easy. But it's, again, a way to work on this position. And of course, you can do your Olympic lifts, but this is a way that's a little bit lower impact. And again, I find this, because I'm not really doing a lot of Olympic lifting, but I am doing a lot of acrobatics, which involves, of course, a lot of jumping and landing. And I find this drill to really help kind of solidify people's landing positions, which over time I think can increase longevity in the sport. So one other option, it's a bit more challenging, so I wouldn't recommend that you try this unless you have the two-legged version down very well, is the one leg jump. And because you have a free leg, it's actually going to swing a little bit with your arms at the same time. So I'm on one knee, I'm balanced, A little bit more difficult to land it well. I'm going to try the other side. This one's not as good. A little bit more of a stomped landing because I have even less time in the air. Not easy, but again, if you have this coordination of using the hips and putting your feet under you, it's going to help a lot with basic coordination for landing different kind of flips. Really important, especially if you're doing the one leg version, but pretty much for all of them, is we're starting with the feet pointed like this, right? So it's very important that when you're in the air, you flex the feet and you reach the toes back. If you land like this, it's probably going to have a bad day, maybe a bad few months, depending on what kind of jump you're doing and the severity. So if you watch my feet, just with a two-legged one, I flex. And with the one-legged, of course, it's even more important, I show it from the side, that the foot flexes right away to find the floor. If you don't try it yet if you don't have that coordination of flexing. Some people are a little bit slow with flexing the foot, but it is very important. The foot needs to reach out to find the floor. It's a very important idea behind landing soft and learning how to absorb the force, which I'm going to talk about in a different video. So one more challenge, and I actually don't practice this one too much, so I don't know what it's going to look like yet. We're going to see what happens. Is just like before, rather than landing upright with the one leg variation, you try to land in a squat. So in this case, it's going to be pistol squat position. So you're going to see if you can coordinate that landing. Again, this is kind of the final variation, so if you can't do the ones leading up to it, I suggest working on those before really getting into this one. But let's see what happens. So, almost. Try the other side. It's been a while since I've done it, but it's good on camera to make myself. There it is. Let's do that left side one more time. So also not an easy variation, but a way to challenge a little bit your coordination, your leg strength, your plyometric abilities. So kneeling jump, I find it very useful, so feel free to play with it and start adding it into your workout. And as always, let me know what other content you'd like to see. Check out my workshops, link below. Check out my handstand ebook and my Vimeo on-demand videos, link below. If you want some more instructional, like longer course type things, either on Vimeo or ebook format or etc., also let me know. I'm always trying to improve and try to see what people want more of, so I'll see you guys next time.